Hello to everybody, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you are joining us. Thank you for joining me to the last content webinar for 2022. We're talking about content transformed. In this webinar, we will look back at all the great things done for content in 2022, and we'll have a sneak peek to 2023. The agenda for the webinar today will begin with a short overview of the organizational updates in the content operations team. We will then proceed to the 2022 content summary. After that, I will share content operations outlook for 2023. Sorry. So let's start with the team. We are content operations. In our team, there have been 2 organizational updates. Vivian Antwi is now the Director of Provider Relations, which is a team that is in charge of reaching out to providers and communicating with them regarding the content they send us for the knowledge bases and the central index. I am also new in content operations. I started on October as Content Product Manager after 12 years of working as a librarian at the Hebrew University, and I overview the different aspects of content operations, as well as communicating these aspects to the customers. The rest of the team, development for discovery and delivery, research operations, and support for discovery and delivery, are all veterans working together to improve content across the different platforms. So let's start with the content summary for 2022. Well, this has been a very good year for content in Ex Libris. The emphasis was on data excellence, and this was the main theme for 2022. The question was, how can we improve data, and what makes excellent data? These 3 pillars were identified as what makes data excellent. The first, high quality. Once the quality of the data is evaluated, standardized, and improved, this takes data to the next level and makes a real difference for the users. But high quality data is not enough if it is not discoverable. How easy it is to reach, how easy it is to retrieve. This is the second pillar of discoverability. High quality without discoverability does not maximize the content's value. The third pillar completes the building blocks of excellent data. How current the data is. If the data is of high quality and discoverable, it also needs to be up to date in order to make a meaningful impact for the end user. Keeping the data current sometimes comes at a cost of being accurate or discoverable. This is an ongoing trade-off which we consider, and it can be a very difficult choice sometimes. After identifying these components of data excellence, the team was looking into ways of bringing these values into our routines and initiatives. So every initiative was derived out of the concept that the content needs to be current, complete, and discoverable. The impact of data excellence is fluctuating into other services. Resource management in Alma, discovery services in Primo and Primo VE and Salmon, acquisitions in Rialto, research workflows in Esploro, linking in SFX and 360, resource sharing in Rapido. All these services are intertwined and affected by how much the content is current, complete, and discoverable. So let's look at some numbers. We started off 2022 with over 58,000 collections in the knowledge bases, that is Alma, SFX, and 360. And now we're at over 74,700 collections in the knowledge bases. We are keeping the 15% annual growth rate, and we expect it to stay this way for 2023. In CDI, we started with 4.7 billion records of a large variety of content types, from title level of books and journals to the more granular level of articles and book chapters, and also data sets, videos, etc. Today, we are at 5.14 billion records, meaning we kept the 10% annual growth rate and expect it to continue for 2023. All this content, all these data types are maintained and ingested in our systems, and we took it upon ourselves to prioritize and improve currency, completeness, and discoverability for this content. So let's start with the first pillar, the quality of the data, how we measure it, how we improve it, and how we adjust ourselves in order to enhance the quality of the content. How do we improve the metadata? We start with measuring it. What are the qualitative comparable features of data that can be analyzed and decided as a solid criteria to evaluate? We measure quality by using our internal quality scores and brief level metric score. The brief level score is based on the record content and gives us a pretty good indication what is the enrichment level of the record. It ranges between 1 and 10, and it helps us identify collections with brief records that are highly activated and needs to be improved. We also developed an internal quality score to address records that lack fields such as identifiers because the material type does not have it, like videos. But they still have rich bibliographic records, thus they are not in need of enrichment. Measuring the quality of the record is key in understanding what is the current enrichment level, where we want to be, and how to achieve it. Sometimes it can point us in the direction of specific fields that once added, they can boost the enrichment level significantly. After identifying brief level collections, we investigated our internal routines and found that some of the routines could be adjusted to boost the quality score. So just by rewriting some rules for the ingestion helped in bringing records from brief level to enriched. Another effort was directed towards improving the source of the data. That included communicating the requirements to providers and searching enrichment sources such as the OECD library, OCLC print records, and other sources that brought the enrichment level from very low, to high scores. We also had an enrichment pilot for selected book collections that are highly activated. These collections were chosen based on their low enrichment level and their high usage. Over 20,000 records were enriched externally and brought up from a brief level of an average of 4 to an enriched level of an average of 8. We hope you notice the difference, and we plan on extending this track for other collections in 2023. The next factor for data excellence is discoverability, meaning making the content easier to find and less clicks to access. The latest outcome of this effort is adding book chapters for Ebook Central nonfiction titles in CDI. In November 2022, we started with the first load of 55,000 records. This brought forth different issues, which we are currently handling. And since we started this process gradually, it will be easy to address on a small scale. We will gradually load more and more content until we reach 20 million book chapters, which will appear in CDI with direct linking to the full text of the chapter. This initiative makes Ebook Central book chapters more discoverable and will boost search results, giving you better statistics for purchased content. Another discoverability initiative is Quick Links, which is already picking up and spreading to more and more providers. We currently have 26 providers, which cover over 10,500 collections, meaning your users have direct links to PDF and HTMLs of 1.55 billion records. Over 250 institutions have active access to Quick Links providers with at least 100 clicks in November, and over 400 institutions are currently active or testing Quick Links. Latest count shows more than 300,000 clicks in November, and the numbers keep growing. The success of Quick Links is greatly due to the link checker tool. This is an internal tool that serves as a gatekeeper to check linking accuracy for new providers' content, as well as routine checkups that sample links from existing Quick Links provider. The link checker currently stands at 99% success rate, meaning that quick links will provide accurate direct links to PDFs and or HTMLs 99% of the time. Peer review in CDI was specifically requested from the CDI advisory group. Taking into consideration what the community wants to see in CDI, this initiative added more than 45 million correct peer review indications in CDI. So we started at 506 million articles with peer review indications, and now we're standing at almost 551 million articles with peer review indications. This will improve discoverability for the articles. For the currency aspect, we reviewed how we can proactively stay up to date to reflect changes of any kind. One of the most important steps was to enhance rights in CDI by improving rights processing times. We reduced the turnaround from 72 to 48 hours, and now the rights processing time stands at below 35 hours median time. We expect these times to even get shorter during 2023, and our goal is to reduce processing time to as low as 24 hours. We also took several proactive actions to improve currency, as in the up-to-date status of content. The first step was to create enhanced reports to analyze currency issues in our automated collection updates in our knowledge bases. These agile reports allow us to review which collections have been updated and when, and if there were errors during the update process. We can produce a report at any time, so we can flag and investigate the root cause of automation update errors proactively before even a single case is open. This is also done in CDI, but in a smaller scale, and not for all collections, only to the top activated collections. We constantly improve and automate different aspects of these reports. And in 2023, we expect to include more content for CDI monitoring reports and add more features to the knowledge bases reports. Another action we are proactively initiating is weekly cases reports. Driving proactive automation improvement following weekly case trends analysis, which helps us identify collection trends that are built based on single title cases opened by different customers. This analysis draws our attention to the macro level of the collection, based on single title cases that are opened every week, sometimes by the same institution, but sometimes by different customers. In this way, we can focus our efforts on high incoming cases, focusing specifically on collections that have issues. Another game changer initiative is introducing direct ingest to the collection ingest process. We currently have Cambridge collections at 417 collections and JSTOR at 285 collections, books and journals. These are now in direct ingest process, meaning it can take as soon as 24 hours between receiving the updates from the providers to the changes being reflected in ALMA. So name changes, new titles, edits, deletions will be shown much quicker. In the past, it used to take even several weeks, and now, as low as 24 hours, that's how long it takes from provider to CZ. We will continue moving providers to direct ingest during 2023, so stay tuned for updates. Another currency-focused project is the Ebook Central daily updates. Using a new API, there are direct updates of new Ebook Central titles, making the collection in the knowledge bases accurate and up-to-date. This project started in November 2021. Since then, we've uploaded more than 262,000 titles. And currently, over 90% of Ebook Central titles are in ALMA. And there's more exciting news about content. We can't have a content webinar without talking about support. So customers experience with content support improvement. We're constantly striving to improve content support. We're doing so by looking back and giving high attention to reduce backlog. In 2022, we introduced Project Flash, which took the load off our support team so that they can give the proper attention to new cases. So Project Flash took aging cases and transferred them to specialized forces, which helped our support teams focus on new cases and make sure that new cases will not be delayed on account of cases that some of which are no longer relevant. We're also increasing capacity and recruiting more analysts for support team. So if we're looking at the graph, we can see how the backlog, which is the purple line, is always going down from January till today. And at the same time, we can see that more cases are closing than opening since May of 2022. Another new feature introduced for content this year is the recently added collection management level. This was also promoted with the help of the Community Zone Management Group, so we thank them for their help. The community, the community managed, there are 5 collection levels managed by Ex Libris, which is the bulk of the content. Community managed collections, which are 5 collections that from now on the community can edit, add, or delete records. This independence frees the community from opening cases on collections that Ex Libris cannot verify with any known provider. Contributed collections are those that were provided by institutions to cover a gap that cannot be addressed by providers. The contributing institutions have put in a lot of effort into these collections, and it is highly appreciated by the community and Ex Libris. So we'd like to thank you all for making the community zone a richer and more diverse knowledge base. The label of not maintained collections will be assigned to collections that were offered by providers that are not responsive or for some other reason are closed collections that cannot be maintained by whoever handed the data initially. It could be archival content, or it could be a provider that went out of business or does not exist anymore. These type of collections will be assigned the not maintained label. Collections that are pending deletion will also be branded, informing the user's community that the collection was requested to be deleted by the provider or by the contributing institution. Another new feature will show you a short overview of regional activations for community zone collections. You can see the different regions: Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East and Africa, North America and Latin America. These are the regions, and the numbers indicate how many activations this specific collections have. So now that you can review the activation outreach of collections in your region and in other regions, you should check out your local regional content. You may be surprised and see it was actually activated also outside your region. So in summary, if we look at the 2022 initiatives, we can see that there is a thread going through all of them, and the theme is data excellence. The Ebook Central book chapters to boost the discoverability, their direct ingest to address currency issues and being up to date, the rights processing time, the quick links, the peer review and CDI, upgrading metadata, all of which were actions that were derived from the data excellence theme, trying to find ways that we can sustain constant improvement for our customers and your end users. So looking forward for 2023, we have our long-term content and data focus. These are meant to improve transparency and improve communication by making our actions more known to the customers. We hope to reduce uncertainty and build a stronger, trustworthy relationship. That's one focus for 2023. And another focus for 2023 is targeting the new content lifecycle. And that includes collections, databases, authority vocabularies, anything that's new for content. We want to see how we can improve the lifecycle. Today, requests for new content come from different stakeholders. And by building a sustainable, trackable new content requests workflow, we hope to address new content in a better way to reflect regional needs and also include content which supports diversity, equity, and inclusion. Other than our long-term content and data focus areas, we're looking to make content and Exlibris services more current, complete, and discoverable by these actions. First, we will continue with the data excellence initiatives, targeting the quality, discoverability, and currency of the content. We want to also improve our operational efficiency. How? By improving updates, monitoring, and new content turnaround time. So by monitoring the updates and the automation processes for collections, we can better control our operations team processes. And by investigating the new content turnaround time, we can also find the bottlenecks and try to reduce them. The communication and collaboration with customers and providers are always trying to improve, and we're always looking for ways to better communicate and make everything more transparent. Especially with the customers, we're working with the user groups, the regional and the subject ones with the content working group and the community zone management group. And with providers, we're always trying to show them how we can join forces and work together to better serve our mutual customers. And for customer experience with content support, as support is always being a main issue, we're looking for ways to increase the capacity and also decrease response times. That we're doing with better training and focusing on specific cases that open on general collections that can be aggregated and then addressed on collection levels. We will keep pushing forward for content support improvement by reducing the backlog, increasing capacity, and decreasing response times. So I actually finished a lot faster than I planned, but if you have any questions, then I'll be happy to answer.
Thanks a lot, Tamar. We do have a couple of questions that have come in. The first one is there a way to search by the new management level in the community zone, such as looking for collections with mini activations in Asia Pacific?
Unfortunately not, but that's a good idea. And I will check with the Alma product team if it's something that is being part of their, if it's something that's part of their plan for 2023.
Okay, another question that came in has to do with quick links. You guys have done a remarkable job in terms of getting providers signed up for quick links. 26 in a year is impressive. How can we help support other providers becoming quick links providers?
Well, that's a good question. I think that you can communicate that through the either your working groups, opening ideas exchange. You can also just send me an email. You have my email here, and just let me know which is your what do you think should be the next provider for quick links. Also spread the word. Once other customers see and know how good it is, then we'll have a better case persuading providers in joining this venture.
Okay, we don't have any other questions at this time. So if you want to go ahead and make some concluding remarks, and if anybody does have an extra question, we can address that after she's done with her concluding remarks.
Yes. So first of all, thank you for attending, and thank you, Scott, for hosting. I just want to say that although it's been only 2 months for me in the content operations team, I think that Exlibris is doing a wonderful job in promoting content. I mentioned at the beginning that there's a trade-off between currency and the metadata quality and the discoverability, because we always need to consider what the costs are. If we want things quick, then sometimes we won't have the links to the article levels in time, or sometimes we won't have rich metadata, we'll only have brief records. So being in this team and having such wonderful partners in the content operations and the support and the provider relations really makes me very excited for 2023. I think we have a lot of good things yet to come.